Looking over her shoulder, the wind continued to howl and lap at her face. She quickened her pace then, bringing her hands closer together for warmth. The sky above had taken on the color of deep obsidian, with the threat of rain at any second. Not exactly what was forecasted for the weekend. The streets around her grew emptier with each passing minute, while the light inside buildings began to flick on. She made her way down an alleyway, hearing doors shut and windows close while others hurried in. It was getting colder now. When the rain did finally fall, she realized there was no way to get home without being completely drenched. She could hear her mum's voice in her head now. "Why did you stay outside so long? Now look at you. You're all sick." She began to run, her head down and arms protecting from the torrent above. The slick cobblestone underneath her boots splashed loudly with each step until she saw it right in front of her. A bright yellow sign on a door emanating with a warm hue. Coffee. The bell rang when she pushed her way inside, still wet from the rain. Looking around, she saw a few people also seeking respite. A few younger, a few older, but all wanting to get warm. The smell of fresh coffee beans and cookies lingered in the air, inviting her to stay a bit longer than she anticipated. Some people smiled at her, and she did the same and looked down toward the floor. After ordering a hot chocolate, she plunked her bag down and found a beanbag near a fireplace. She closed her eyes, catching her breath slowly, and grabbed the headphones next to her. There was nowhere else to go now. Might as well make the best of it. She clicked play on her music player and pulled out her books to read over notes for next week's exam. But there was something wrong. It was not what she was expecting. Instead of slow drum beats, quiet guitars, and piano, she was instead blasted with a weird kind of bass, a hard snare and synth? She looked down, confused, and checked her device. It was not hers. She took the headphones off and put them back when he appeared in front of her. He was not that much taller than her, wearing a puffy jacket and a purple beanie. His eyes were brown, which matched his hair perfectly. He wore a shy look on his face to tie it all together. He said softly, "I think you have my music player." "Oh," she replied incredulously. I'm sorry, I thought it was mine when I put all my stuff here. I think I got confused." No, it's okay. I just went to the toilet, but I was actually sitting here earlier." His voice was quiet, but reassured. She felt embarrassed. She was about to get up when he sat down across from her, taking his music player back with a hint of a smile. A brief silence occurred. The fire crackled some more. Plates clanked in the coffee shop, and the low murmur of other people filled the void instead. Eventually, he spoke up. "What did you think of the music?" he asked. "I'm not too sure," she admitted. "It's not exactly what I listen to. I've not really heard that genre too much." I get that pretty often." "So what do you listen to?" "Mostly lo-fi," she said. "I find that it helps me relax whenever I'm working on assignments." He laughed. "Right, chill beats to study to and all that. I see it all the time online, but honestly, I've not heard much of that style of music myself." "It's good," she exclaimed. "My cat and I love it, and we can listen to it for hours. There's nothing else quite like it." He smiled again. "Well, my dog and I love synthwave. I think it has a similar effect on him because he always zonks out as soon as it's playing." She giggled. "That's too cute." The rain outside poured harder, and looking beyond the shop windows only showed a watery haze disrupting the silhouettes of lampposts and parked cars. They continued talking about their music tastes as the night waned on, then their shared love for cute pets, and then the topic eventually turned toward their city. Her hair was dry now, her body warm from the hot chocolate, and she continued to listen to him. "I really do love living here," he said, after taking a sip from his tea. "There's always been something so peaceful and serene. When I look outside my window, I see a bunch of lights in the horizon, and I like to wonder what everyone else is doing." "Me too," she interrupted. "Sorry." He smiled again and looked at her. Each time he did, she felt safe. "It's okay. So what do you see?" "Well," she said, "when I look outside my window, I see lots of lights too. And I realize that each one is living a life as complicated as mine. That they're all probably listening to their own music, going about their own schedules, and it makes me feel a lot less alone. Especially on a night like this, he added. Especially on a night like this. There is one I keep seeing though, across the river. It's not like the others. It's blue. And I wonder what's happening there. I mean, everybody else is orange or yellow or white. What makes that one so special? She laughed and looked down at the floor. No, but that one is nice, she continued. It reminds me of that single star in the sky you always see when you peer up. No matter where you are, it's always with you. She looked up at him, and their eyes met again. It felt different this time. Electricity. What is it? She asked. Well, that room you mentioned, with the blue light? It's mine. And they continued to talk until the rain disappeared.